What is your new outlook? What is the nuance of the last few weeks as you look forward into 2024?
You know, I think some of the nuances you guys were talking about already, right, is oil prices, energy prices. Perhaps that changes a little bit of the narrative, right? That perhaps inflation does pick up a bit more in the US, right, towards Q4. So that's not particularly great news for a Goldilocks scenario. I think the nuances is also going into Q4. What can destroy that Goldilocks picture, right? Because we're all talking about all these horrible things, right? Like, you know, things like student loan repayments and are we hitting recession and all these things. And then we look at high yield spreads and they're just going towards 350 and happy days for everyone, right? Great. So I think the nuances are sort of trying to find out what could potentially break all this, right? What could potentially break that sort of Goldilocks scenario.
Is $95 crude it?
No.
You don't think that could break this?
I don't think so. It's one nuance. I think it's one of those where, to be fair, if I was the Fed, if I was the ECB or the Bank of England, which, you know, lucky for everyone that I'm not, but, you know, if I were, I'd be basically saying, well, what should I do about that, right? What can I do about it? I mean, I'm not an oil producer, so I can't really do anything, and I can sort of use it as saying, look, this is just energy prices. It's something transitory. It'll be going away out of the calculation in a couple of months. Don't worry, right? All the other rest, you know, excluding 15 components from our preferred inflation baskets, then everything looks fine. So I think that's the worry that I have, right? That if we start looking at these inflation baskets that sort of exclude everything that we need for the everyday life, that they are starting to pick up again. And to be fair, if you look at things like super core inflation, right? The action components, the broad-based nature of it hasn't really dramatically changed over the last 12, 18 months. So that is perhaps something towards Q4 where perhaps inflation does pick up beyond just energy prices. Not a new inflation wave, but basically an interruption from that, okay, inflation has gone down in one straight line now, to actually now we're getting sort of this bumpy road ahead, right, in inflation, where we've got to play those turning points in